Welcome back to Manly Focus channel. Today, we've got quite a loaded topic on our plate. We're delving deep into a subject that's often whispered about but rarely discussed openly, the wall. We're going to be exploring the impact of age and attraction, the dynamics of the modern dating game, and the rise of a phenomenon known as the marriage strike. So, buckle up, because this one's going to be quite a ride. Let's get right into it. In today's society, there exists a concept, often discussed in hushed whispers or behind the anonymity of screen names on the internet. The term is the wall, and it signifies a certain period in a woman's life when she has surpassed her peak physical attractiveness, leading to a considerable shift in her experiences in the social and dating realms. As women approach their early 30s, they start to perceive a subtle but persistent shift. The ground beneath them, once firm and solid, begins to crumble. The metaphoric wall isn't an abrupt cliff, but rather a gradual slope that many women aren't prepared to face. The majority of these women have enjoyed over 2 decades of attracting attention from men of diverse age groups, ranging from young men in their 20s to mature men in their 50s and 60s, each demonstrating varying degrees of affection and care. But a change occurs in the early 30s, which brings an unexpected turn to this seemingly long-lasting attention. Women start noticing the fickle and changing nature of attraction. It's a shock to their system, a jarring reality they aren't prepared to confront. For women, the time of transition often happens in their early to mid-30s. They've spent the previous decade or so garnering attention from diverse age groups. However, as they approach their 30s, changes begin to manifest subtly. Men, once generously present in their lives, now seem to become more selective, focusing their attention on younger women instead. This shift can feel abrupt and unfair. It's not unusual for 35-year-old women to question why men of their age aren't interested in dating or marrying them. From an objective standpoint, a 35-year-old man who is financially stable can often attract younger, more attractive women in their 20s. Most men would prefer to spend a year or two getting to know a woman before committing to marriage. If a man chooses to marry a 35-year-old woman, the woman will be 37 or 38 by the time they decide to have children. At that stage, the woman's fertility would have significantly decreased. This stark reality compels women in their early 30s to consider men in their late 30s, 40s, and sometimes even 50s as potential suitors. As women age, they discover a significant reduction in the pool of potential partners. The eligible men remaining are often those who've had their fair share of relationships, marriages, and children. It's a tough pill to swallow for women who've spent their prime years enjoying an abundant choice of men. Many women find it difficult to comprehend that men choose women rather than women choosing men. It's a hard reality to accept that the natural order of relationships has swung in favor of men. Their dating options have dwindled from a broad range of the entire male population to a limited selection of men, many of whom have been severely impacted by previous relationships. The situation is dire for women who are desperate to have a child, a condition colloquially referred to as baby rabies. They are so desperate for a baby that they resort to deceiving men into fatherhood, leading to complex situations that affect multiple lives. However, this desperation for motherhood doesn't always align with the lifestyle choices many women make. A significant portion of women in their mid-30s decides against having children. They prefer to continue living the partying and clubbing lifestyle they enjoyed in their 20s. This decision often leads to exclusion from social circles that have chosen the path of motherhood. In a desperate attempt to regain their youth, some women resort to hunting for younger men in their 20s. It's a short-lived consolation that often leads to one-night encounters, further damaging their self-esteem. This constant chase after the fleeting fountain of youth reflects a refusal to accept the natural process of aging. They're trying to extend their youthful party days, and in doing so, they undervalue their worth. As if the first wall isn't hard enough, women encounter a second wall in their early to mid-40s, just before reaching middle age. At this stage, they lose the capacity to attract younger men looking for casual relationships. Physical changes such as weight gain and the onset of menopause become more evident. The process of aging seems to hit Asian and Black women a bit differently. While they age more slowly than white women, once they start to lose their beauty, their physical appearance seems to age more dramatically over a short period. An Asian woman who is 38 or 39 might look like she's in her late 20s or early 30s, but within a few years, she could appear to be in her early 40s. Women often mature earlier than men during their teenage years. From an evolutionary standpoint, the earlier a woman matures, the better our species' chances of survival are, especially during times when resources were scarce. Women have traditionally held the reproductive advantage. But because they mature earlier in life, they also age more quickly. Men, on the other hand, age attractively for women. Women are typically attracted to men because of their access to resources and financial stability. As men reach their mid to late 30s, they become more open to dating a broader range of women in their 20s. This shift reflects the idea that men grow into their attractiveness rather than being born with it. The process of aging can be likened to a poker game. Imagine a young man and a woman, both in their early 20s. The woman starts with 90 chips, and the man only 1. However, when they turn 35, the man has accumulated 85 of those chips, leaving the woman with only 6. This is a simple analogy to describe the shift in power dynamics that takes place with age. Unfortunately, many women aren't aware of this shift. They tend to spend their chips in their 20s and early 30s, living a life of luxury, buying shoes, dining out, and enjoying vacations. When they reach their mid-30s, they also spend a significant amount on cosmetics and commuting. As a result, they accumulate massive amounts of debt. Some even openly admit that they are looking for a wealthy man to bail them out. The wall isn't just a physical phenomenon. It also has a profound psychological impact on women. The harsh reality of the wall results in a profound shift in self-perception, triggering feelings of anxiety and depression. Women begin to internalize their diminishing societal value, affecting their self-esteem and confidence. For many, it's an existential crisis that leaves them grappling with the cruel hands of time. The advent of dating apps and social media has changed the rules of the dating game, especially when it comes to the dynamics of aging and attractiveness. These platforms amplify the wall phenomenon by putting a premium on youthful physical attractiveness. As women age, they find themselves at a disadvantage on these platforms. This disparity becomes glaringly obvious when one compares the attention and likes a younger woman gets on these platforms versus an older woman. Even though women in their 30s and 40s often bring more to the table in terms of emotional maturity and life experience, these attributes are unfortunately not as valued in the digital dating realm. The wall phenomenon doesn't only affect women. Men are affected by it too, albeit differently. As men reach their 30s and beyond, they tend to gain social, economic, and emotional stability, increasing their attractiveness to younger women. This situation puts older women at a disadvantage, as they find themselves competing with younger women for the same pool of eligible men. Moreover, the dating game becomes less favorable for men as they age, too. While they might attract more women, these men often bear the brunt of the emotional and financial baggage carried by women who have hit the wall. They are expected to compensate for the perceived decline in women's value due to aging, often without any appreciation or reciprocation. In recent years, men have become aware of the changing dynamics of the dating and marriage market, leading to the marriage strike. More men are choosing not to get married or are postponing marriage to later in life. This phenomenon can be attributed to several factors, including changes in societal norms, awareness of the financial risks of divorce, and a general disillusionment with the institution of marriage. The marriage strike has compounded the challenges faced by women who have hit the wall. As more men opt out of marriage or prefer to date younger women, women who have reached a certain age find it increasingly difficult to secure long-term commitments from men. And there you have it, gentlemen, a comprehensive look at the wall, age, attraction, and the marriage strike. It's a complex web, isn't it? But remember, understanding these dynamics isn't about placing blame or feeling superior. It's about gaining insight into societal trends and human behavior. It's about understanding the playing field so we can better navigate it and, ultimately, forge stronger, healthier relationships. We hope this discussion has given you food for thought and perhaps a new perspective on aging and attraction. If you have thoughts, experiences, or questions about today's topic, we would love to hear them. Drop a comment below and let's get a conversation started. If you found this video valuable, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, keep focusing on your journey to becoming the best man you can be. Stay strong and stay focused.